Hey everyone. Today's topic, don't stay friends with someone you desire more from. So what I basically mean here is don't stay in the friend zone with anyone. I do not believe it's worth it. I know many people out there like to stay in the friend zone, usually because they care about that person and they want to keep them in their life. But I've just come to realize it's usually not worth it. Because, well, one, quite often we tend to overestimate the way we feel about someone or like their impact on our lives, and usually we can make do without most of the friends we have, provided you don't audit your friends. Obviously, if you audit your friends, if you take that seriously and you aim to surround yourself with great people, that's a bit different. But most people don't really do that. So if you like someone and you've been friend zoned by them and you're keeping them around, I'm willing to bet they're probably not as great as you think they are. But anyway, that's the first thing I wanted to share, is that usually we're kind of blinded by our feelings for that person. So we often can go through life without them. But so many people trick themselves into believing that that's not the case. And then they're comfortable staying in the friend zone just to have that person in their life. And yeah. But the main reason I don't believe it's worthwhile to keep someone in your life when you desire more from them, but they've relegated you to the friend zone, is because it has a lot of negative mental health side effects. Because the main thing here is, if you're friend zoned by someone, it immediately means you're going to have to be inauthentic with them, unless you somehow are still authentic about the way you feel with them, even though you're friend zoned. But if that's the case, I would make the argument that you're not friend zoned. If they know how you feel about them, if you don't hide it at all, if you still flirt with them and joke around and that sort of thing, you're not really friend zoned. At that point, it's just more that they aren't interested in something more with you, but they know where you stand. So it's different, right? That's a very different thing, because usually we end up friend zoning ourselves because we're not being authentic and honest with them from the beginning. We don't tell them how we feel. We don't let them know we want to take them out on dates, not just hangouts. I mean, it's a stupid word. Let's hang out. So dumb. Define your dates, or at least just make it more obvious. Like, yeah, that's one problem way too many people have. Let's hang out. Whatever the hell that means. So be careful with that one. But I just don't believe it's worthwhile to keep someone in your life who has basically friend zoned you, because then all the negative mental health side effects of that will be difficult to deal with. Like, some of the big things being, it'll probably make you feel some form of anxiety when you're around them, because you want more from them, but you're not going to get it because they either don't know the way you feel, or they've communicated they're not interested in you. I would wager most people who are in the friend zone haven't even had that conversation. So I'll operate in this video under the assumption that most people who are friend zoned haven't even communicated anything to the person they're friend zoned with, even though usually that person will know that you like them to some degree. They usually know. I mean, it's usually somewhat obvious. There'll be telltale signs that we unknowingly share, and so they'll probably know. But if you haven't communicated it, you're constantly in that place of feeling like you can't be your fully authentic self, because your authentic self would be you communicating to them that you like them more than a friend, that you would be flirting with them, maybe making dirty jokes, that sort of thing, where you basically be having fun with them, teasing them, doing all the things that you do with people you're interested in. But if you're friend zoned, you're not going to feel comfortable doing that, so you won't do it, which immediately means you're being inauthentic, you're being dishonest. And I've just come to learn that the situations where we're forced to be inauthentic are horrible to deal with. Like, in my opinion, they're like the worst things in life. I operate from a place of wanting to build my life in such a way that I can be authentic as much as possible, because I just enjoy it. I don't like having to hide who I am. That's one of the main reasons I don't like working for other people. Besides, like, the lack of freedom, I don't like how I can't be my true self at work, because my true self would be cracking dirty jokes and stuff like that all the time. I'd be flirting with my attractive female coworkers, of course, in a non-offensive way, but I can't do any of those things because they would get me fired. So it's just, it's no fun. I'd also just be, my authentic self is basically no how do I put it, no filter. I can't have no filter at work, or I wouldn't be working for other people for very long, or I'd at least be in like a very non-politically correct environment. And usually those work environments are kind of sketchy for the most part. There are some decent ones, but usually they're kind of a bit weird. So yeah, it's just, I don't like situations where I can't be authentic. So immediately I don't like the friend zone, but I don't get friend zoned anymore because it's all about you being authentic and honest from the very beginning. And then if you get rejected, having the courage to just walk away. Just, I mean, what's the point in keeping someone around that you desire more from? Like, really, what do you get out of that kind of relationship with them? I think it can maybe work if you are honest with them, if they know where you stand and they just aren't interested in you in that way. That could potentially work. You could still, be authentic around them. I mean, I have a few female friends who are taken, and if they weren't taken, like, I would swoop in right away, and they pretty much know that. So I'll like make jokes with them and whatnot when I see them. I don't see them often at all. Obviously, I do not go out of my way to try to meet up with women who I know are taken. In fact, I don't at all usually. Usually if I see them, they reach out to me first. So yeah, I mean, but when I do see them, I'm like flirting with them the whole time, having fun, obviously having boundaries, not making any physical moves on them, but they know where I stand with them. I think that can work, but that does require high levels of maturity on both of your parts, because, well, you need to know the boundaries that are in place, right? Like, no making a move physically unless you want to be a homewrecker, and if that's the case, good luck starting a relationship from that place, right? Like, if you get them to cheat on whoever they're with you, that you're starting a relationship from a place of them basically breaking trust with who they're with, so they'll probably do the same thing to you at some point. But yeah, so that's probably not the smartest move. But you can keep people in your life as friends and them still know that if the opportunity arose, if the, how do I put it, what's the term, if the I can't think of it. If something aligns, oh well, I can't think of it. Basically, if the stars align, there we go. If the stars align and they end up single and you're single as well, then there you go. Now you two can meet up and act on the way you feel about each other. But in the absence of that, I just don't think it's worthwhile to keep them in your life, at least like seeing them all the time when you want more from them. I mean, I already said, these women that I know in this way, I don't reach out to them. I barely ever talk to them. If I talk to them, it's because they reached out to me. So that literally equates to like us talking maybe less than 5 times a year, probably, pretty much. So it doesn't happen often at all. I don't keep them as like a forefront in my life, even though I would love to, because there are boundaries there. And I just don't see a point in hanging out with women who are taken, because this is like the only situation where there's any sort of friend zone for me now. It's just, she's taken, and yeah, but otherwise I'll get rejected instead of getting friend zoned, and I'd much prefer that, because at least in that case you have the closure. There's nothing there with them. Maybe they don't find me attractive, they don't like my personality or something, I don't know, whatever it could be. That's fine with me. I'd rather that than be just in that limbo zone of the friend zone where you don't know what the hell is going on and you're forced to be inauthentic, and yeah, it sucks. So I basically just explained how I kind of maneuver the pseudo friend zone, because it's not the friend zone. They know where I stand with them. They would know if they were single, and yeah, they would know things could happen between us if the stars align. That's not really the friend zone, but that's the way you should probably aim to set up your relationships as well. Like, if you just don't allow yourself to get friend zoned, be honest and authentic from the very beginning. But should you end up getting friend zoned, or maybe you already are from prior relationships or friendships, should I say, I just don't think it's worthwhile staying there. Like, communicate the way you feel to the other person in a non-needy way, which usually means get to a headspace where you feel comfortable not having them in your life anymore, because really, what are they offering to you? Maybe that's the wrong way of wording it, but basically, is their friendship really that important to you? Do you really have to have them in your life? Because you're constantly going to be pining for more. You're going to want to be able to do things with them that you can't do because you're friend zoned for whatever reason. Is that worth it to you? Is it really worth keeping a relationship like that in your life, I mean, to me it's not, because I just don't see a point in that. It's dumb. It's like wanting something behind a glass container that's in your house, but you can't open it, and you just constantly have to stare at it even though you really want to open it and play with it, whatever it may be. I don't know. I can't think of an example. But you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to play with it. It's in the glass container. You can't touch it. You're screwed. Why would you have a friendship like that in your life? It just seems like such an unnecessary source of anxiety and other negative mental health side effects. It's not worth it. So make that decision for yourself, but I just don't believe it's worthwhile to keep a friendship like that in your life. So be honest, communicate how you feel to them in a non-negative way, be comfortable losing them. If they reject you, walk away. Maybe they'll come back into your life. You never truly know. Otherwise, just move forward and find people you can keep in your life who you don't want to do naughty things with in the bedroom. And if you do meet people like that, communicate that to them from the very beginning so you don't get friendzoned. Yeah, I feel like I've been rambling a lot here, so I'll end the video, but I truly hope you enjoy this one. I hope you got something out of it. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!